Hey, Julia, you want to go ahead and do the intro? You're on mute.
I muted it for the intro, and then I forgot to take it off.
I know you're talking. I'm like, I don't have my sign that says you're on mute.
I know. Sorry, guys. We're having technical difficulties tonight, hence why we're starting a little bit late. But I'm Julia with American Frontline Nurses, and we've got Nicole with American Frontline Nurses. And tonight we are going to do a deep dive about SHIELD, our initiative on all of our doxing and all of the craziness that we have been dealing with pretty much since February of 2022. Well, actually before that, but it got really bad in February after we got back from DC last year. So, Nicole, do you want to take it away, or do you want me to?
Let me take this deep breath because we're about to unpack some shit here.
We are ready to unpack.
Okay, so we did a little catch-up episode when we first came back in September and kind of let you know a little bit about what was going on. But we really want to show you guys exactly what's going on to healthcare professionals out there right now. They have been strategically targeting people to get them delicensed. And we found a group called Team Halo. And Team Halo, I mean, we found it by this creepy guy named That Sassy NP on TikTok, and Jess 2019, whose real name is Josephine Kratt from Michigan. And these two influencers, I guess, were responsible for targeting me after I spoke at Senator Ron Johnson and talked about the jabs and what was going on and things like that. And they did not like the fact that I was talking negatively about remdesivir. They did not like the fact that I was talking negatively about the jabs. And, you know, ultimately, we are on the side of patients. We care about patient safety. We care about the outcomes with our patients. And most importantly, we care about people. And we want them to have good health, and we want to care for them. And it seemed like if you spoke up and you said anything negative about these jabs, that, you know, they would just go after you. And so they made a whole bunch of TikTok videos about me. And ultimately, I'm
not sure if I froze or if Nicole froze. Never fails with technical difficulties.
Julia, are you there?
Yeah, I think I froze.
Yeah, my internet's acting up. I think we're talking too much about sensitive topics. They're just going to dive our internet here.
Yeah, and take our YouTube channel down again.
Right? Or they're going to bombard our podcast with bad reviews or something like that. I mean, these people are ridiculous. So we ultimately tracked Tyler back to this terrorist group called Team Halo. Now, we've been working to expose Team Halo and all of their wrongdoings, how they were attacking people, how they were doxing people. And ultimately what ended up happening is the group got shut down. Their funders refused to fund them anymore because of their unprofessional behavior. I believe when does your book drop is what Karen wants to know. It was supposed to drop in October, but we have to push it out just because I can't finish it because so many new things have developed, like Team Halo completely dissolving. That's we need to add that in there. Mm-hmm. But what we really recommend everyone do is to subscribe to my Substack, Dark Influence. It's completely free. You can pay for a subscription if you want, and all that money goes to American Frontline Nurses, and none of it goes to me. And we'll keep you up to date with what's going on in the meantime. But it's just incredibly interesting that they Team Halo just shut down completely. They had all these quote unquote influencers that were supposed to be educating people on the COVID vaccine. And instead of doing that, they were attacking people and endangering those people and their families. And that's what we experienced ourselves personally. We were both stalked. people were trying to find information on us, and they sent a reporter after us. And I'll pull that up right now. But this is my favorite. Honestly, I'm going to frame this because, like, I felt like, I don't know, maybe David Gilbert has a crush on me. So David Gilbert is a writer, reporter for Vice. And for those of you who don't know, Vice is going bankrupt because they push so much anti-jab propaganda that people actually, their viewership was falling. So David Gilbert, who specializes on quote unquote misinformation, really all he does is post about Donald Trump. I mean, he's a one-trick pony, but I guess he has a thing for me too. I don't know.
I think it's Tyler. I honestly think it's Tyler feeding him information. That's just my personal opinion.
Oh yeah, it is, because he was using his like burner Twitter account to contact him and everything like that. You know, for a homosexual man, he really is obsessed with me. So I'm beginning to think he's not actually a homosexual. Maybe he's bisexual. But I don't really like beta males, so I don't know what to tell you, Tyler. I think you're gonna have to move on. There's no chance for you. I'm sorry. So David Gilbert wrote this article. It's Vice News. Meet the, quote, American frontline nurses telling parents to give kids ivermectin, which is really interesting because when we were in field hospitals, when we did disaster relief, we gave children ivermectin all the time. I don't get it. Nicole Saratek has been using social media to spread disinformation about COVID-19 and vaccines and going after fellow nurses who try to push back. Which, if you look at Tyler's TikTok, he's actually the first one that, like, we didn't know about him for several months. And then we did realize about him, we tried to ignore him. And and they even picked a really cute picture of me. And I really appreciate the fact that they picked this picture because in the background, there's my frame that says cancel COVID culture, let kids be free again. Yeah. And like, I really feel like maybe you got a thing for me, bro, because I mean, all you really did was just Vice reached an audience that we couldn't reach because of censorship. And so many more people came to us for help. I mean, there's a whole bunch of like nonsense that's in this article. Like, I falsified a medical record, even though I wasn't working as a nurse since March of 2021. Like, I don't know a record I falsified sitting behind my computer screen. I mean, those are some hacking skills I just don't know. Yeah. So she gained notoriety when she posted a now deleted YouTube video asserting that other healthcare professionals were killing all the patients for money, especially people of color. And guys, the video is actually still there and it has several million views. Julia, do you think you can find it on YouTube?
Let me go look for it, because I know we saw it not that long ago.
He's an Orthodox Jew. I think he's a rabbi that kept the video up. It was the original one from New York. So guys, I just want you to know that according to David Gilbert and Tyler Cox, minorities get equal health care with absolutely no social determinants of health or healthcare disparities at all. Those of you who have been trained in vulnerable populations in public health or in nursing or something like that, no.
I think I froze again.
I froze too. And okay. I guess to the white people, I'm just too white. You know, when you can't use race to your benefit to push your agenda like these liberals do. You know, so I worked a lot with the Hispanic population, and it's very close and dear to my heart because, you know, I come from a family of immigrants. My family came here, they have their citizenship, and they believed that in America you could work to get out of poverty. You can do anything in America as long as you worked hard. And my father owns a small business. My mother's in the healthcare field. I mean, this is Tanya TKO. We're looking for.
Oh, there is another one, isn't there?
Yeah, it's got a Yiddish name.
I'm still digging for it. That was the first one that popped up.
Yeah. We're looking for. Oh wow, they really censored it. It's still there. Oh, you know what? Check our Connect. But Oliver, he's a follower of mine. He's from the Orthodox Jewish community in New York, and he kept the video up there. They just really buried it a lot.
I'll check the Connect because I know we have the link somewhere. It's just we've got so much stuff.
I love it. It says public records, Nicole's results, Nicole Siratek. And I'm like, what are you going to find? Like, have a speeding ticket? So, yeah, it's just really frustrating that despite however hard you work to protect patients and to help minorities and to help everyone, we help everyone that comes our way, even those that are being harmed by the transgender movement and all these like surgeries and nonsense like that and the hormone therapies. I'll let you look for it, Jules.
I'm looking.
But we help these people and we don't turn our backs on them. And somehow that got us as transphobes and blah, 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 blah. I mean, they've got their cronies like Heather Bateman. She's a big fan of mine too. And so Team Halo ultimately got shut down for its like complete disaster of a response. I mean, they were completely off base. Troy says, I remember when that video came out, was grateful for it as it confirmed something didn't add up. Hello from Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
Hi from Michigan, Troy. And Elizabeth Joy is here. Thanks for showing up. But, you know, no matter what, we're always here to help protect patients and to help guide them and to advocate for them. And that's something that wasn't going to stop, but they tried incredibly hard to stop us. And so, guys, I just want to let you know that nobody died on ventilators. Nobody was inappropriately placed on ventilators. Remdesivir apparently saves lives, even though we all know better now. They weren't drugging people with midazolam. They, you know, Versed, I mean, remdesivir wasn't killing people. Like, that's the part. I mean, I'm not even upset that they're saying disinformation about the COVID vaccine. They are literally blatantly lying about the remdesivir.
Yeah.
And I mean, this is just ridiculous. And apparently, in another case, she told her podcast listeners to harass healthcare providers in Idaho who had taken a malnourished infant into custody. For those of you who don't remember that, this is the baby Cyrus case. And the baby was returned because they falsely took the child from the family into CPS custody because mom missed an appointment because she caught a cold. And so she called and canceled the appointment because, you know, she was sick and she didn't want to get other people infected. And ultimately the child was returned and the family is suing the hospital and the provider. So I don't know how I falsified a record in Idaho when I live in Nevada and I'm not licensed in Idaho and I was not working as a nurse. So, I mean, people can say whatever they want to say. Is this the one by Oliver, the YouTube video?
Yeah. And literally, guys, Google just shut down on me. Like, just gone.
Access the video.
Yeah.
So let me put that in the comments section for all of you guys.
I put it in AFLN Facebook right before like Google Chrome just went ghost on me. So it's there in that one.
And it has like 1.2 million views. Just want my video of Senator Ron Johnson died suddenly on Twitter. The Twitter account has over is it over 1 million views? I want to say it's like 10 million views. Don't quote me. But they really want to shut us down from trying to protect you, ultimately, is what's going on. And I wasn't the first nurse and I wasn't the last nurse. And we definitely noticed about like when Team Halo started to get shut down, they are also associated with another group called the Public Good Project, which is a nonprofit that manages a group called Shots Heard Around the World. And Julia, do you want to talk about Shots while I pull up the Healthcare Influencer Council?
Oh, God. Shots is a dumpster fire. Just going to say the amount of people that are associated with that group that are in like high profile positions is unreal. And they're all connected. It's like this little swarm of people. They, they're connected to Team Halo. They're connected to this Shots Heard. I mean, there's other groups that we've uncovered that they're connected to. And they're being funded by big pharma. When you dig deep into this stuff, I mean, it's absolutely disgusting what these people are doing. They claim to be a cavalry to help with vaccine, anti-vaccine attacks, but they literally come after people that, we could say that, ivermectin is bad. And because we said ivermectin was bad, they would go after us. It doesn't matter what we say, they're going to come after us. I mean, it's just and they work together. Like they tag team each other. Some of these, there's a pharmacist. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but she's attacked one of our doctors that we work with all the time. And it's disgusting. It is literally disgusting, the stuff that she says. And, she's funding her stuff with OnlyFans accounts. I mean, like the deeper you dig into this stuff, the worse it's getting. And I mean, every time you dig one, you dig another fox den is what I say in the rabbit hole, then you uncover something else. And it's like, how did this happen? I mean, the stuff that we've uncovered this last couple of days about remdesivir is like jaw dropping. And all of it's connected. I could just go on and on and on about how disgusting these people are. And these are the people that are, quote unquote, taking care of our loved ones in the hospital. So if they're acting like this on social media, how are they acting in person in front of you or your family member if they find out that you have a difference of opinion with them? And that's not how healthcare works. You're supposed to be level-headed. You're not supposed to have any, bias or have any, hate for your patients because they're doing something. I mean, I've done dialysis for years, and a lot of the patients in dialysis end up there because of their life choices, but you don't treat them any differently than somebody that, had an accident and their kidney stopped working for some reason or another. It's just unreal what they do to people. If they're treating their peers like this, what are they treating their patients like?
And their patients who are like vulnerable on a ventilator or 2 weeks to defend themselves.
Yeah.
So Shots Heard around the world, they say that we are a rapid response network dedicated to combating anti-vaccine attacks on social media pages, websites, and review sites of providers, practices, hospitals, and health systems. If you stand up for vaccine science, we'll stand up for you. Well, here's the interesting part about this is they brought the fight to us. And that was evident with the very first video that Tyler Cook from Washington State popped up. And then he continued to do it because he realized that it inflamed so many of his pro-jab psychopaths. And because I don't believe in transing children and putting people on hormone blockers and things like that, that they sent this horrible rainbow army after me as well. And it's just like, don't bring a fight to someone who's grown up in the hood.
Yeah, okay. Exactly.
I can outlast you. I grew up in the barrio. Don't even fuck with me. So this is like really interesting. So you can become a Shots Heard member, and they still are actively accepting members because a whole bunch of their members bailed. But they're still using their secret little Facebook group. Let me pull it up here to target people. And I'm not in the group, but I can pull it up and show you.
I think if you click it from that link, I think it'll take you.
Yeah, it'll take you to. Maybe not. There's your application right now. I guess they member homepage. Create an account. I guess they took the the
Facebook page down.
The link to it off their website.
I know I just looked at it the other day because we do keep an eye to see how many people are still in it.
It tells you right on the front, like.
Yeah.
So here's their shots heard around the world group. This is like my favorite. So you can see some of their people are in there. One new post today, 39 in the last month, 1,175. And here's the interesting part about this. Here's their rules. Be respectful to each other and assume the best of people. No doxing. Don't publicly release anyone's private or identifying information, even anti-vaxxers attacks. So this is something that they absolutely do not follow. They don't even follow their own code of conduct because, you know, not that I would expect them to have any integrity. Avoid politics if unrelated to vaccine disinformation. They really fucking hate Trump. So, I mean, and DeSantis. So I don't understand like what center the victim in any response to the attack. But anyway, I've been writing a book called Dark Influence, and I'm probably going to have to push it out to the new year just because I can't finish my accounting classes and I need to update the whole thing with Team Halo. But their rules in their group at Shots Heard is no doxing. So let me show you exactly what they're doing. Okay. So we have right here, Shots Heard doctors and nurses attack an American small business. So here we have a doctor named Cheryl Tierney, and I'll drop the link to the Substack.
I think we already did. Or I'll drop the link to that one.
Okay, and so it says this restaurant plans meetings and organizes the community against vaccines and mask mandates. Guys, there's a little pizza place called the Taste of Sicily. And I can't remember where it's at, but you'll find the links in my article here, which was copied from Broken Truth. And it says they are anti-healthcare and just total conspiracy theorist nut jobs. If you could report this pizza shop Facebook page for false information on health, it might help it get shut down. Guys, they've come out and said that masks don't work and the jab doesn't work. And they wanted to destroy an American small business. It's just a pizza place. I mean, that's how threatened they were because this pizza place, it stayed open. It didn't do the passport. It didn't do mask mandates. And so they were upset and they were trying to get this pizza place shut down. So the health department went after them and everything like that. It says, is there a link to the page? I just added it to my post. Sorry about that. Pages down. We made national news. Like they were so proud of themselves. So let me tell you what they did. They got this psychopath named Savannah Ma or Savannah Sparks, whatever her name. She's a pharmacist who thinks like she's like the next porn star. I don't know. She has an OnlyFans account. I don't know. I looked at it, so I'm confused as to what people are paying for. So I'm just like, I don't know. But anyway, they got her and a guy named Danish who is now being sued for cyber stalking people. And so this Taste of Sicily has had at the time 29,000 likes because that many people like love this small business. And it says they found no issue with my reports of this business. Like so reporting pages down, we made national news. And then they link it to my local advocacy page. Did it check us out? And then they leave a link to Danish on TikTok, which by the way, Danish is being sued for several $1 million for cyber stalking and endangering the lives of other people on TikTok. And TikTok themselves is being sued as well for allowing it to happen because it was a violation of community guidelines. And everyone, Heather Keaty Bateman, who is a nurse practitioner in Alabama, I want to say, she was also in the Vice article. She's a big fan of mine, absolute fan. I'm not interested. She's not my type. I have to keep telling her that, even though she keeps posting her lesbian rainbow everywhere. So it's just a little out of control. And then Cheryl asked Shots heard and delivered. And so and here's a picture of Danish and Savannah, who used to be BFFs, but now they hate each other or whatnot. I don't know what's happening. I think she's dying or something. I'm not quite sure. She was in the hospital for something, but I mean, she's also a member of Team Halo, or at least was. And Danish is being sued. And let's see. So here, right here, Cheryl Tierney, I am excited to announce that this week I accepted a position as medical director of Meloria Health, United States subsidiary of Helios. And so, I mean, she's really proud of the work she does. I mean, I definitely would trust a doctor who tried to shut down a pizza place because she can't determine that masks do and do not work. I like to infringe upon people's personal rights whenever I get an opportunity to. That's why I write religious exemptions for people. So
yet Team Halo doesn't like us doing that. So that's a whole nother trail down.
So it's really interesting. So Team Halo is owned and operated by the Public Good Project. And I want to show you some of the services of the Public Good Project. So they are into media and misinformation monitoring. Okay, the Vaccine Demand Observatory with UNICEF and YAI or whatever. They do Project Vector with the New York State Health Foundation and the National Governors Association, which is social media monitoring for misinformation. And then they report that to the social media technocrats like Zuckerberg and now that WEF lady from Twitter, and they get you shut down. They also run the Health Influencer Council, where they use influencers to push their narrative. And we're going to see once again, some very, here it is, public good projects. They do shots heard around the world. This is our shot, Vaccine Thea, which is vaccinate in Spanish. And here's our very good friend, Jess RN, whose real name is Josephine Kratt. She's not a nurse in Ohio. Her name is not Jessica Anderson. I mean, I don't know how much fraud you can get away with. Yeah. And here's good old Vicky Chan. But Jess was kicked off of Team Halo for unprofessional conduct. And we confirmed that with their Team Halo's media team. And so was Tyler. And then eventually the group was disbanded. And then she scrubbed like 108 of her videos, but we have like almost all of them. And she likes to dress up in scrubs and do TikToks in her car and at home. She lives with her mom still. I mean, I don't know. I bought my first house when I was 27, so I don't know. Some people don't meet developmental milestones, I guess.
Yeah.
So because of all this, so here's an example, and I don't know if you guys are going to be able to hear the audio, so I'm going to narrate the captions, but I'll put the link up to this video. It was me talking about my writing religious exemptions for low-income people, and apparently John wants to know who. Well, her name is like Josephine Kratt. She's some, I don't know, wannabe influencer, but she gets less than 1% of her views now since she's been kicked off of Team Halo. So I just put that in my Instagram video in the link, and so she did this TikTok video about me where I said, yeah, I wrote them for all the low-income folks. And she goes on to try and say about how it's outside my scope of practice. So it's really interesting because I don't know. I mean, this is how incompetent they are. I'm actually an ordained minister. Religion is incredibly important to me. It has been to my family, to the origins of my family. And John said, KJ John says, wow, so much exaggeration and opinion in this article. Yeah, the Vice article. Yeah, it's totally crazy. Yeah. But so she goes on to say, you know, I wrote about how I wrote them for the cafeteria workers and the facility maintenance people. And she's like, anyway, claim to write vaccine exemptions for low-income people. Classic. And so then I go on to narrate, apparently Josephine Kratt is not very happy that I wrote religious exemptions for low-income people. So let's take a look at the rest of the video that she conveniently omitted. And they cut things out to make it seem however they want it to seem. So it says, Ask if I need an exemption. If I need an exemption. Yeah, I wrote them for all the low income folks. Lots of like housekeepers in the hospitals, a lot of facility maintenance people, the cafeteria workers. They, people they seem to forget, but the mandates affected them too. And they were always focused on the nurses and the doctors. And I'm like, what about these people? They're just as important. I guess not, because half of them don't speak English and they don't have medical educations. I guess they're just disposable. So we made sure that a lot of them were taken care of across the country, because we don't discriminate against people for their religion. And I wrote religious exemptions for a lot of Jewish people, as well as Muslims as well. And I mean, there were a large host of people that I wrote religious exemptions for that were low income and needed to keep their jobs, but honor and respect their religion. And I just can't believe that somebody, a healthcare professional, a nurse, would just like want you to be fired. Many of these people are living paycheck to paycheck. And I know that's really hard for people like her that are privileged, that came from a dual income home. But I grew up on welfare and in homeless shelters. So I know what it's like to go without food, to go without shelter and things like that. And this is in America. And I was just appalled that a healthcare professional who took an oath to do no harm would want harm to come to people. And number one, by getting the jab, and number two, wanting them to lose their jobs over the jab. And it's just so disheartening to see that people use Hispanics as a pawn for their narrative, for their liberal narrative, because she was all about it on her Twitter about, let them cross the border, amnesty, blah, blah, blah. And then when they're here, they don't give a damn about that. And these are American citizens that she didn't even care about. So it's very disheartening. And so, Julia, I'm going to bring up the SHIELD initiative.
Okay.
If you want to talk a little bit about that and how to get to it from our home screen.
Sorry, the dog decided that she's going to come in here and she needs loves right now.
I know, my dog came in too.
It's like they know. So on our website, Nicole's going to she's going to pull it up. We've got a SHIELD tab. I'm pulling it up on my end as well. So underneath, if you go to our AmericanFrontlineNurses.org, make sure it's American and not America's frontlinenurses.org, because that if you go to the wrong one, it's going to take you to the wrong website and you're never going to get us. This happened countless times when we were in the Haida Delta. And so we always want to make sure you guys know what our actual website is. If you hover over the equipped portion, the SHIELD is under there. You click on SHIELD, and then it is going to open up. And SHIELD stands for Strategic Hub for Internet Education, Learning, and Digital Safety. And so we've created this out of necessity to protect our fellow healthcare workers. And you guys can report a doxing. So if it has our story on, we kind of just went through all of that on, why we created this. And it's because of what happened to us is the reason that we have created this, to be able to help everybody else. If you scroll down, you're going to see where you can report a doxing. And this you can put in, the more information you give us, the better, because then we can have our Nicole and I do this, and we have a couple other volunteers that work, very diligently behind the scenes to help people. We're DMing people like, hey, even when something hasn't been reported, and we might just be, surfing the internet for our own pleasure, which is very rare, or checking other things, we might see something and we'll reach out to them. So if you guys come across something, please let us know so that we can reach out to them and then we can help them with it. And like I said, the more information you give, the better. And if you've been doxxed, if you're a nurse, you're a doctor, other allied health professional, and you've been doxxed on social media, please let us know so that we can help you and we can give you guys the tools to protect your licensing. And, we always recommend that you put as little information on your social medias as possible, just because people don't, the people that are attacking us, they don't care about, it took us 10 years to get where we're at or more. They don't care about that. They only care about getting us taken down and, making themselves look good for their social media clout, in my opinion. But if, like I said, the more information you can give to us, the better. And just give us, if you've got social media handles, you've seen, if even um, comments on other socials, it may not be reflecting that particular post, but if they're commenting about something else, let us know so that we can see that. And then let me go back up. So I think yours looks different than, I've got it open on my screen.
Yeah,
It looks different.
there's a report a doxing form. There's join Shield. So if you want to join Shield,
That was
you can join as a member to help track down some of these victims, things like that, because we have several hundred victims that we're still trying to track down and get them involved with the class action lawsuit because of what's happened and the groups that have been targeting us, like the Public Good Project and team Shots Heard Around the World. Now, if you want to become a volunteer online safety advocate, somebody that is kind of like a caseworker that helps these people and helps us with the lawsuit and things like that, you can apply right here. It is a volunteer position. And that's all on the Shield page, which is under the Equip tab in, what's your baby? The Equip tab on our website.
And if you're not able to volunteer, but you know somebody else or someone that wants to join Shield or wants to volunteer, please pass our information along to them so that if they can fill it out for themselves. Make sure that is actually filling out the forms. You're not filling it out for someone else, because we can't reach out to somebody. You have to give us your information because we've had people send us things through social media like, oh, so and so would be great for you, but it's like we can't help people unless they reach out to us ourselves, because we just don't know. We have to be super careful. We have to basically vet every single person that comes in. So we just have to be super careful, and it's to protect everybody.
Yeah, so that's the Shield initiative, and we're working really hard to track down these victims of Team Halo and Shots Heard Around the World. And then there's so many freelance trolls that are mimicking them as well. I mean, who's that cat girl? Whatever her name is.
Alley Cat. She wasn't Alley Cat. She wasn't accepted as Team Halo, and she's got multiple videos crying about how she wasn't accepted, but then she acts just like them, trying to be part of them.
So that's ultimately Shield and what we've got going on. And Team Halo and Shots Heard Around the World targeted our podcast. We've been running with the podcast, and we started an awesome new kind of like a prize thing. Julia, do you want to talk about reviewing the podcast?
Yeah, on the website, we have got, if you go back up to our Educate tab and Ask the Nurses podcast, we've got a chance for where you can leave a 5-star review. And once you submit it, you take a screenshot of it, upload it to our form that we have here on the website, and you'll be entered in a drawing for each week. We're starting next week. We're going to start randomly selecting one person that has given us a 5-star review on our podcast. We're going to be picking weekly prizes. It could be a gift certificate for, our supplements that we have. It could be a gift certificate for, our t-shirts that we've got. I'm wearing, this is one of my favorite ones, American Patriot. I thought it was very fitting for what was going on in the DC circus today. That I actually put that one on, not knowing that was happening today. But then also we've got, if you want to become a guest on our podcast, if you scroll down, you can, on our website, you can submit being a guest on our podcast. Or if you know somebody that you would like us to interview on our podcast, you can do that as well. But make sure that we have all of their information, and we'll reach out to them to be able to my gosh, my dogs are going nuts. My brain just flew out of my head, to be able to book with them, to have them on.
My daughter discovered that I have paints out here, and she's trying to get into them. So, guys, I just want to reiterate, it's on vote for us or give us a 5-star review on Apple iTunes, or was it Apple Podcasts, because that's where they like to slam the reviews. Mm-hmm. So we got 3.2 stars, and we were actually at like 5 stars. So you just open up your Apple podcast, and you'll see to our main page right here, and you just go down, just scroll down the episodes, and you'll get the reviews. You can see that people have left some really great reviews. Thank you, Happy 8361. The best knowledge, care, and nurses ever. Keep on spreading the word and fighting the medical freedom and justice. Love you all. So Happy 8361, if you're listening to this, send us a screenshot of you going back in, because you can edit your reviews, and send us a screenshot of that, and we will give you a gift card to Frontline Defense Supplements for this awesome review. And so you can see that we had some good reviews. And then I really like Dangerous, Shameful that these that people like this have a platform to spread misinformation. These nurses never have to see the harm they cause from doing it. Mind you guys, I want you to know that some of the episodes were about reducing sugar in your diet, breast plant illness. What were some of the other episodes that are apparently disinformation that we did, Julia?
Oh, gosh.
Botulism, protecting yourself from botulism.
I mean, we've had so many different guests on over the time, and it's, the truckers, when we had the trucker convoy in Canada, we had them on. There's just like so much that, we give a bad name to the profession of nursing because we're helping people for free.
Oh, this
really?
podcast blatantly spreads misinformation to the public with their scientific illiteracy. They give a bad name to the profession of nursing. How is this even allowed to be a podcast? No scientific data to support any claims that they make. This is dangerous for the public, and these nurses shouldn't just be allowed to have a podcast. They should have their licenses revoked. Oh, you silly girl. Tasty mayonnaise. That was like a year ago. But guys, some of our episodes. Let's see. Kat Parker, who runs a vaccine injury group. That's misinformation. Then we have Connor Callahan. He talked about how his dad was mistreated in the hospital. That's misinformation. Making a Killing documentary. That's misinformation. And I'm trying to find a couple more. Like, I don't know. Let's see. Yeah. Evelyn, who was hospitalized, and they tried to take custody of her. CPS involved. Let's see. Dr. John Witcher, who's running for governor. That's misinformation. Dr. Henley, who came in and talked about decreasing sugar and eating more vegetables in your diet to help decrease inflammation in your body. That also misinformation. I don't even. Sorry, I can't. Okay, so we have Sarah Californian on, and she was talking about trauma in children and how to heal from trauma as a child. That's also misinformation. Guys, I'm sorry, I can't even.
I mean, just some of this stuff, it's like you seriously cannot make it up.
Yeah,
You just,
guys,
it's
go and give us a 5-star review. To our website under the Educate tab. Click on Ask the Nurses podcast, and we will randomly select one winner every week for a prize. And I think that's it, Julia. That's all I've got. My daughter's up here. She's dressed herself today. So
she is just absolutely adorable.
You got it? You got your baby shark sweater?
Yeah.
So, okay, guys, we're going to head off. Thank you so much for listening to Ask the Nurses podcast. And please report a doxing. If you see someone getting doxed on social media, drop the link, tell them to come to us, tell them to fill out the form. We need all of these victims and we need all of this data for our class action lawsuit.
Please take this tag off.
Please take that tag off. Okay, hold on, baby. Let me roll the credits. All right. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.